Hey everybody, this is Natalie from Light of Ascension Tarot. So good to be with you today. And I just wanted to do a little reading for everybody on feeling alone or feeling isolated. And someone had left me a comment saying, you know, that they were alone on their birthday this year and they've been alone on the holidays and they're wondering, you know, why is this happening or what's going on with this? And I know there's a lot of us out there that I've certainly gone through my experiences with that too. And I mean, I've lived far away from my family for a long time. And, you know, I spent many times alone. I think sometimes I feel like I live the life of a hermit. So, you know, and I don't have children, of course, I have a dog, but you know, and I just actually moved to a new city and left the West Coast. So, you know, I'm getting to know new people and coming out of my shell a little bit more. So I just wanted to address this point because I think a lot of people feel this. And even if you are in a relationship or you do have a significant other or children, you can still feel very alone and isolated in your experience, you know? And I think with technology, like, we can connect and it's a beautiful thing, but I also feel like the whole sense of having that like immediacy of that family, and a healthy family too, not a toxic one, right? But a healthy family around you and flourishing and productivity and, you know, going through daily life together, supporting one another. I think this kind of concept has really been eroded a lot in our society, and it's been to our detriment as human beings. You know, we have less like physical touch. We have, you know, and physical touch is like my number one love language, you know, so I really, for like me as a person, I need physical touch. And it's important to know your love language too. There's a test online. If you guys haven't taken it, you can find out like what's your first, second, third, fourth. I think there's 5 of them. Love languages, and my top 2 are, you know, physical touch and words of affirmation. So those are like those type of things make me feel very secure, very, you know, comforted and secure, right? So it's, yeah, so I just want to say that I don't know why I'm laughing. It's been kind of a wild couple of days emotionally. So, you know, for me too, guys. So I'm right there with you. And I really did want to do this reading because I think it's healing to the collective, and it's probably also going to be immensely healing to me too, okay? So, and the person who left the comment had asked, you know, like, why is this happening? Like, why is she alone on her birthday or, you know, alone on holidays a lot? And, you know, what we're going to do in this reading is get some comfort from spirit, and also, you know, look at some of the whys of why, you know, and I know it's the whys, right? We want to know why. Some of the biggest questions in life, we want to know why too, right? But it's by the grace of spirit that we can understand, you know, deeper, learn further. Yeah, everybody, let's take a breath. If you're watching this with me, take a deep breath and exhale, right? I'm going to ring the bell now. Yep, just letting you know in case you're listening on headphones. And let's just spray some Florida water and get some good misty energy flowing here. And let's go ahead and get into the reading, guys. So thank you for sticking with me on the intro. Thank you for sticking with me in general. It means a lot to have you guys here with me, and thank you for being here on this reading. So let's go ahead and tap into the energies. Let's do it. Okay. Pile number 1, you chose, oh, I didn't go over the piles. Well, you guys can see them in the description box below. So I'm okay. All right. We're okay. We're all okay. Right. So let's do it. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the white tea light, and today's reading is called Feeling Alone or Feeling Isolated, and we're going to get some comfort from spirit. This was a subscriber request reading. Someone had mentioned, hey, you know, I'm alone on holidays or my birthday, and I just want to know why. and what's happening, right? So we are going to, today we're speaking to those of us who feel times isolated or alone, or that people don't understand us, and get some comfort from Spirit about this, okay? So thank you so much, pile number one. Spirits, angels, and guides, please open my energy up to my beautiful pile number ones and the energy that wants to come through today to comfort my pile number ones, please. Okay, we all need a little bit of comfort, right? And as I'm starting your file, as I'm starting your pile, oh my God, it's the Mercury retrograde. As I am starting your pile number one, I was feeling, I was feeling a little bit of sense of sadness, okay? But Spirit made me laugh by me calling pile, all right? So maybe some of you needing to kind of laugh a little bit, but let's see here. We have Theta of Venus. So we're gonna read this card. This is from Alana Fairchild's White Light Oracle book, and we're gonna go ahead and read it after we get through all of your Oracle cards here. Theta of Venus, deep in the cocoon of love, deeply being held by Spirit in a sanctuary of love, I feel, all right? Venus talking about the energy, the theta waves and the brain waves and the beauty and the experience of love, pile number one. So Spirit really wanting to hold you here in that. We have the Three of Swords, pile number one. Yeah, my loves, you have really, maybe some of you have had some very challenging experiences around betrayal and heartbreak, and feeling like, this happens all the time. I'm doomed to repeat these patterns, and gone through a lot of pain, pile number one. You've definitely gone through your fair share of pain and suffering, and great lessons that you've learned as well. We have a new start is coming, new moon. So Spirit is saying, if you felt very alone because you've been heartbroken, or you've been grieving, or you've just felt very disconnected from others and just wanted to sleep a lot, maybe some of you wanting to sleep a lot because you feel alone or isolated. And Spirit's saying here that a new start is coming for you, all right? And that it's gonna get better. We have here calming the waters, peaceful self-regulation. This is something that can be so hard to do when you're really feeling alone or isolated and crying or not sleeping or panicking, right? And Spirit is wanting you to spend this time that you've been kind of feeling alone or isolated to work on peaceful self-regulation and calming the waters, okay? Especially if you get in your head a lot and you overanalyze things and you lose sleep over it and you feel real depressed, pile number one. Spirit is saying here, calming the waters and peaceful self-regulation. Wow. Self-regulation is such an act of love to oneself, I feel like, but it's also really hard to do when you're being really wounded or in a deep trigger. It can be very hard to self-regulate, especially if you have a lot of intrusive thoughts, Three of Swords, okay? And what you've been trying to work on or create is not working, and you're realizing that, and you feel like maybe you can't even, maybe some of you feeling like you can't even really talk to many people about what's been going on with you, okay? And maybe dealing with some blockage in the throat chakra, pile number one. Let's see what else. We have wisdom, all right. So Spirit holding you in a cocoon of wisdom right now while you heal and while you calm those waters of emotion and work on that peaceful self-regulation, all right? And we have leopard skin, jasper, and silence. Silence is deafening. It's deafening, isn't it, pile number one? The totem animal for this gemstone is the leopard. When stalking their prey, leopards are focused and silent. Leopard skin jasper encourages you to do the same. Silence has strength. Work on your goal, but keep quiet about it until it is ready to be shown to the world. It is Revealing something too soon will dissipate its energy. Keep it sacred by keeping it secret for now. I am quiet. I am humble. I don't need the approval of others to validate my efforts and my worth. Oh my God, right? I am quiet. I am humble. I don't need the approval of others to validate my efforts and my worth. All right, so really understanding that, pile number 1 for you. And we have card number 5, I am adaptable. Flexibility is your forte. When life throws you a curveball, you can easily adapt to new circumstances and find excitement in the unexpected change. Be brave and bold in your endeavors. A new start is coming, okay? So Spirit is saying there may have been a lot of quiet time or a lot of silence or feeling like you can't talk to others about what you're going through, and you've had to rely on your own self to kind of self-regulate. And you know, this silence that you've been in, pile number 1, I feel like it's almost like, you know, it's bringing a lot of wisdom here. It's bringing a lot of wisdom, but it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy for you guys. Let's see. Yeah, we have Bridget and inner strength. And Spirit is saying, move back into wholeness. Recognize that you have the power, okay? And beautiful goddess Bridget here. I believe she's an Irish goddess, and she is associated with, what's the Sabbat? What's the witch's holiday? Why can't I think of Imbolc, yeah. And she's associated with a witch's holiday in February, okay? And she's saying, you know, move back into wholeness, recognize that you have the power, okay? So this time that you've spent learning to emotionally self-regulate and has developed a deep inner strength within you, pile number 1, which is, you know, a lot of times a lot of people need tons of people around them all the time, validating them and validating their efforts, you know, and if they don't get it, they feel like, oh, I can't do that, right? But with you, you're learning to validate yourself and not seek the approval of others with what you're doing, and to emotionally self-regulate on your own time and in your own flow and develop your inner strength, okay? And in this energy, a new start is coming for you, pile number 1. We have freedom. Yeah, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness, right? So Spirit trying to, you know, not trying to, but literally coming through and saying that, you know, you're developing a sense of wisdom and freedom, and you are possessing your own power, right? You don't need anybody to validate your efforts or your worth. I mean, it's nice to receive validation from other people, but if that's something we've been seeking a lot in life, feeling like if we don't have that, we can't move forward, or we need someone else to move forward, Spirit is teaching you guys, you know, that through freedom, it's like you're going to gain even more. All right. And we have look for a sign here. So Spirit saying, look for a sign that you're going to have more excitement, unexpected change, and be bold and brave in your endeavors. So for some of you, it could be the number 5. It could be lightning. Lightning could be a sign for you. What else? A wand, lightning, the crown chakra lighting up, the number 5, and new moons. New moons could be a great time for you to set the intentions for a new cycle. All right. So Spirit saying, look for the signs that we're giving you that things are going to change. Okay. And I want to look at this data. Actually, here, let's look. Oh, we have candles and magic. So really talking about, you know, your inner fire, your inner strength, and Spirit wanting you to do more magic and to call, you know, healing energy. You know, I'm seeing purple, green, and yellow here to call this energy into you. There's magic about what you're doing, you know, and sometimes when you're like alone or you're feeling isolated or lonely, it can be a really good time to practice magic or to learn about magic, because there's no one around you really kind of, you know, kind of like distracting you or diverting your energy. Like you can really focus on the magic in what you're learning. So I think Spirit also talking about that for you, pile number 1. And let's go ahead and look at this Theta of Venus, card 25, please. And let's see, Spirit, what do you have to say to my beautiful pile number 1s, please? We have the Theta of Venus. Okay, it says, attune yourself to higher consciousness by choosing to access the purest frequencies of love within you. Acknowledge lower frequencies such as judgment, fear, doubt, or shame when they arise within or around you, but do not give them a foothold in your heart. You are ready for higher understanding, to see things in a new and more positive light. Allow your inner knowing to guide you on a unique, beautiful, and highly spiritual path. Venus is our morning and evening star, the stellar goddess and guardian of transitional awareness and higher consciousness of the heart. She is the way shower of light and the fifth dimension reality, also known as unity consciousness. Her spiritual guardianship of humanity will be complete when our mass consciousness is based on love and light and divine feminine wisdom. When you connect with Venusian energy, it is an opportunity for increased love, magnetism, spiritual charisma, and a chance to shine your light and manifest your soul purpose with increased grace, synchronicity, and sacred artistry. Her appearance in a reading signifies a time of creative and spiritual awakening. It is a reminder of the power of the heart and our ability to rise again after a time of karmic heaviness. Yeah, the Three of Swords. Karmic heaviness, yeah. The souls of Venus, her sons and daughters upon this earth. Oh, pile number 1. Let that energy rest with you. You are a son or a daughter of Venus, okay? Her sons and daughters upon this earth are not spiritually bound by the mass consciousness of the human collective. Freedom, freedom. You're not bound by the mass consciousness, pile number 1, okay? And they naturally vibrate at a more loving frequency. They can be genuinely astonished by the cruelty, meanness, and displays of dominance that typify the dark side of human nature, yet they have chosen to temporarily incarnate to bind their souls temporarily to the laws of nature. As they grow alongside their beloved earthly brothers and sisters, they share the higher resonance of their heart light, opening the way for human evolution. The spiritual sons and daughters of Venus belong here, yet at an inner level, they know they are not from here. Pile number 1. This oracle reminds you that you are not bound by the ways of this world, and that part of your higher purpose is to help heal, soften, and awaken humanity. Even if you find it hard to feel at home on Earth, perhaps sensing you're from the stars, Venus or otherwise, know that you're meant to be here and that you belong in a special way. There is a home for you here with Mother Earth. Oh, I'm going to cry, pile number 1. You are loved and needed and will attract whatever support you require to fulfill your destiny. Venus souls have a particular talent for creating beauty, working with light and spiritual energy, and calling to them whatever they want and need. You have your own healing journey, and part of that journey is your spiritual training in the ways of the earth at this time. This will teach you what it is needed to heal yourself and others. You do not need to be afraid of the ways of the world. You are part of a spiritual team that is here to transform mass consciousness. Theta is a narrow range between 7 Hz and 8 Hz, which access the deeper meditations and light sleep, including the dream state. The brain enters this state during the in-between times, such as when we're falling asleep or waking up from a deep sleep. These are moments in which our capacity to create consciousness is heightened. At this time, we become aware of deep-seated programming and are able to heal by reframing it. During this state, you are conscious that your body is deeply relaxed. You see everyday realities through inner spiritual eye and come to understand yourself in light with insight. Put simply, you may see things differently when you are in a theta state, and your life may make much more sense to you. In a reading, the appearance of this oracle is a special reassurance from Spirit that everything is unfolding within the protective grace of divine love, even if sometimes it appears not to be so. 3 of Swords, right? A new start is coming. It also indicates that you have the power to heal yourself and change your life for the better, okay? Really talking about this calming the waters and self-regulation, your inner strength, your ability to perform magic, looking for a sign from your guides about this new start. And I love how I love how this white light oracle talks about not being bound by the rules and the, you know, the limitations of mass consciousness, okay? And that could be another reason why you're kind of being held separate in a way, pile number 1 right now. And you may have felt a sense of, you know, feeling alone or isolated because you're really being held in a separate container in this Venus energy, okay? And the sons and daughters, it is not a small thing to be a son or daughter of Venus, okay? That is a very high honor to be able to call yourself a son or daughter of Venus, pile number 1. It's a very, very high honor. And, you know, and sometimes the most beautiful souls go through some of the most hurtful and challenging experiences, you know, and definitely wisdom is earned for you, pile number 1, and probably through relationships, probably the hard way at times, but Spirit's saying here, wanting you to work on your self-regulation so that when it is time for this new start, when it is time for you to adapt to curveballs in life and things like that, you're able to use this power of self-regulation almost as a magical skill, right? And self-regulation can be so hard. Like, you know, I know it's very hard for me too, because I'm very emotional. You know, I'm a moon in Cancer. I don't know what your guys' moon sign is in, but definitely drop it below. And, you know, if you're very sensitive, pile number 1, then emotional self-regulation can be very challenging at times, especially with intrusive thoughts or thinking about things, obsessing on the pains and the hurts of the past. You know, it can get to be a lot, all right? And Spirit wanting to help, you know, and it's almost an act of self-love, honestly. When we're talking about Venus, we're talking about self-love as well, too, okay, pile number 1? So I want to go ahead and see, Spirit, what can you tell pile number 1 about this pattern in their life, please, about feeling alone or isolated? Spirit, what can you tell pile number 1 about this, please? 6 of Swords, bringing you peace of mind, all right? Bringing you resolution, bringing you a peace of mind, all right, from situations that have been very overbearing or caused a lot of grief, okay? Let's see what else. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely with the Hangman. You're definitely in a space of deep, deep reflection, and there is a lot happening while you sleep. I also feel like, you know, sons and daughters of Venus, a lesson for them that they learn is, you know, love is like the most important reason to be here, but we also cannot sacrifice ourselves for everyone else, right? And if you've been in a pattern of sacrificing for others, pile number 1, Spirit is like, we're holding your energy separate for now so that we can help you with this pattern and you can see it for what it is and move on from it, okay? And develop a good sense of detachment and the ability to move on, all right? So also, you know, during this time is very spiritually enlightening for you with the Hangman. Let's see what else. And enlightenment isn't something that we gain and then it's over and then we never have to be enlightened again. I mean, enlightenment is something that we learn and we experience throughout our entire life, if we're lucky, you know, and you are very lucky that way, pile number 1, because you are being enlightened. Let's see, what does Spirit have to say about this pattern? Okay, so I feel like maybe sometimes you maybe hold back from saying the things that you want to say, okay? And maybe some of you feel a little bit pressured, or in the past you felt pressured or judged for what you wanted to say, or just felt like you couldn't really express yourself. And I did mention something about the throat chakra in the beginning of this reading, right? And the King of Swords coming up here talking about, you know, the King of Swords wants to cut the Hangman down from this tree and, you know, take his sword and basically right above that and say, we want to help you move on so you don't feel so stuck, right? And I feel like this is your guides saying, you know, if you feel like you've been hanging on the sacrificial tree, pile number 1, for far too long, here's your guides coming along to say, chop, chop, cut, cut. We're gonna cut you down from that. Like you've sacrificed enough at this point, you know. You've really done the work, pile number one, okay? It's time for some peace, right? And some beautiful sleep would be great as well, you know, and a balanced mind that feels very calm and serene and feeling restful. Like the Six of Swords and the Four of Swords and the King of Swords are some of the most, like, you know, the swords can be really tough because it's like we've got a lot of tough cards in the swords, you know, but the 6 and the 4 are really the best of the swords that you can kind of get, you know. And the King of Swords here is like, I'm finally getting clarity in my own mind about past patterns of sacrificing my needs and wants, and you know, and I feel like this King of Swords is here to cut this hangman down from the tree here and give the hangman his or her freedom, all right? And yeah, and I feel like your guys you're learning to calm your mind, right? And it feels very meditative to me. It feels very regenerating, all right? And the more that you emotionally self-regulate and the more you give that to yourself as a way of self-love, the more Spirit is bringing new things to you, and that's when you can really start looking for a sign, okay? And so let's get one more card here from Spirit to close the reading. One more card here from Spirit to close the reading, please. One more card, Spirit. The Nine of Wands. Yeah, it's been, and the 10 of Wands is on the bottom of the deck. It's like, you're just like, I don't know if I can keep going. If it's going to be this hard, like, I don't want to keep going in this direction. This has been, you know, very painful. And you've been really, Spirit is saying you've been really, really strong throughout this whole experience and wants to encourage you and say, you know, the worst is over here. The worst is over. And, Spirit coming to free you from the agony that you've been experiencing so that your mind can be free, right? That's the freedom, all right? And this saying, I am quiet, I am humble, I do not need the approval of others to validate my efforts and my worth, right? King of Swords, throat chakra, sure of what you're saying and doing. 4 of Swords, quiet and humble. 6 of Swords, the mind really getting balanced there, okay? And this brings great wisdom and freedom, and it also helps you become, you know, for those of you that practice magic or you want to, that's an area that can help you build inner strength, okay? So thank you so much, pile number one. I hope that brought you a message of comfort, and I hope that, you know, being a son or daughter of Venus is a pretty, that's pretty cool, right? And I feel like some of you forget that about yourself, you know? It's easy to forget about that when you're like caught up in the daily, you know, like, why is this or why is that? But you know, to be a son or a daughter of Venus is an extremely high honor and a very beautiful, beautiful thing, pile number one. So I want you to remember that about yourself, okay? So let's go ahead and move on to my pile number twos, my beautiful pile number twos. Let's go ahead and do it. Pile number twos. Okay. Pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose the rose pink tea light, or the pink rose tea light, and Spirit is already giving me messages for you, and 2 words they gave me are focused and determined, okay? And there may be something that you're working out within yourself during this time where you've maybe been feeling alone or feeling isolated, and this is a subscriber, if I can talk, request reading, and Spirit really wanting to bring comfort through here for everyone, and especially those who've been alone on their birthdays or alone on holidays or just feeling very alone and isolated in general, okay? Spirit wanting to bring some loving medicine to everyone here today. So thank you so much, pile number 2, and we're gonna go ahead and look at it. Spirit already talking to me about focus and determination. Spirits, angels, and guides, please open my energy up to my wonderful pile number 2s. Let me connect with their energy, their souls, their spirit. Guide me, Spirit, and give me comfort for my pile number 2s. Spirit is showing me a unicorn. You know, they're like showing me a unicorn, which is beautiful. Pile number 2, okay? You're different, you're unique, and it's important for you to be focused and determined right now. Let's see what you've got here. We've got Lesa of Parvati. Lesa of Parvati, card 32. All right, so we're gonna read this card at the end. This comes from the White Light Oracle book by Alana Fairchild. So I already can tell, though, by her expression that she's, you know, very focused, very considerate, and, you know, thinking deeply. Okay, so let's see what else we have here. We have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, focused and determined. And there's some new opportunities that are going to be coming up for you, I feel, pile number 2. And so it's been really important for you to use this time wisely to get really focused on what it is that you want, because new ideas, new opportunities coming at you. We have emotions are running high, super moon, okay? So emotions have been running high and in your life. Let's see what else we have going on here. Setting boundaries, okay? And I was kind of feeling this, that maybe some of you guys have been having ideas about something that it is that you want to do, or something that you're planning to do. But there could be people in your life who don't want you to do it, or are making you second guess yourself, or are being very emotional about what it is that you'd like to do, right? And some of you have been alone, or you've been feeling isolated because you've set some boundaries with people who have maybe taken advantage of your time or your good nature, pile number 2. And Spirit has come to say, like, we are removing these energies from your life, and, you know, with your consent, pile number 2. They want you to know, with your consent, with the consent of your higher self, because, you know, there's a bright, beautiful, bright spot in all of this, right? And some of you guys may have been around people that were sapping your energy or arguing with you a lot, and I just feel like you guys are saying, you know what, I reached my limit, right? With the threshold, protection, and honor here, I've reached my limit with this situation, and I need to do what I need to do right now. I need to be proactive for myself, because I really am trying to create something new or do something new for myself. And I don't need, you know, a lot of distractions or a lot of people who may be well-meaning, but, you know, they're not necessarily, they may be like well-meaning in the sense that they don't mean to be like that, but, you know, having to set some internal boundaries, right? And when we do that, and somebody doesn't like our boundary, then we may feel like we need to pull back even more, right? So let's see what else here. We have water and emotion. Oh my gosh, that's 2, right? Super moon, emotions are running high, and then more water and more emotions, okay? So Spirit's saying, you know, emotions coming like a wave and they're washing over you, and yet you are trying to focus on something really special, I feel, pile number 2, that you would like to do, or a special idea you have, you know, a new project, or starting a business, or something that you think could be, you know, very healing, but also very practical for you. All right. And feeling like some of these energies in your life have just been sort of like waves washing over you, right? And we have Parasolite, compassion. Parasolite is a green amethyst. Amethyst stimulates the crown chakra, promoting spirituality, and green is the color of the heart chakra. This crystal opens you up to spiritual love. It helps you to see beyond the mask that people wear and recognize the divine spark of light that they are. Do you have a grievance with someone? Perhaps you cannot see their divine light. Begin noticing the good in them and watch those qualities amplify, because whatever you focus on will expand. Affirmation: I see the good in others and I help them see it in themselves. Okay? And, you know, and I feel like you do that, pile number 2, right? But And I agree, like compassion is a beautiful thing, but we also don't want to be engaged in, you know, in toxic compassion, which is like, just because you can see why someone is the way that they are doesn't mean that they can do anything that they want to do to you, right? Or that, right? And I think that that's something that you understand this now. I feel like there's butterflies all over this pentacle as well too. I feel like this is something that you guys have come to understand, that just because you have emotion or compassion with this setting boundaries card doesn't mean that people can, you know, and it says here, do you have a grievance with someone? And maybe some of you guys have put a boundary with a friend or your family or a loved one because you said, hey, like, I am not an endless river of compassion here. Like, you know, I need to feel the waves wash over me as much as you want to feel my compassion. I need that as well, right? So I think some of you guys have gotten a lot more clear about that and what that means for you, right? And so let's see what else here. We have card 23. I am adventurous. You have a zest for life and you are eager to experience anything and everything possible. You love change and excitement and need both to feel truly alive. For you, life is a beautiful adventure to be lived to the fullest. I am adventurous, right? And I mean, you're excitable, I feel like, pile number 2, with this emotions running high. You're excitable and you can be a very emotional person, right? And maybe some of you have kind of forgotten that zest for life. I mean, this is card 23. So maybe when you were 23, you had an incredible zest for life and you wanted to travel and try things and do things, right? And lately, you know, maybe some of you have been feeling compassion fatigued, and that's why you're just like, yeah, I'd rather just kind of be alone to work on my projects and my ideas and make plans for the future, because I don't want to have compassion fatigue anymore. We have Serapis Bay and Ascension. Move into your true self. Rise above the darkness. The light is there. Okay, so talking about Ascension, and a part of your ascension process, pile number 2, is the process of setting boundaries and honoring yourself in doing that, right? And that's part of your ascension energy here. So, you know, Spirit's saying that's a good thing that you're setting boundaries, even if you feel more lonely because you've been setting boundaries, okay? Look at Serapis Bay's face. I mean, he looks pretty freaking serious here, pile number 2. And there's something, you know, very magnetic and serious about his eyes. He's got the infinity symbol as well here. And it's like, okay, you know, we're not gonna take it. No, we're not gonna take it. Pile number 2, we're not gonna take it anymore. All right. Ascension is nigh, pile number 2. So some of you knowing that and saying like, yeah, I gotta get focused here. We have pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Yeah, Spirit encouraging you to have pride in yourself, right? And, you know, when you have compassion fatigue, it's like, oh, I understand why this person feels this way and I'm holding space for them. And it's a beautiful thing to do, right? But, you know, sometimes we just need to have pride in ourselves, right? And our ideas and what we want to do and where we want to go in life, right? And this saying, I love myself and I see myself in everyone, okay? But that can be hard too. I mean, it's beautiful to see ourselves in everyone, but also sometimes we just need to kind of be alone at times too, which I know. We have compromise. So I think some of you guys have been really tired of compromising what you want to other people. And, you know, and maybe some of you guys started doing that in your 20s or your early 20s, or there were certain dreams and adventures that you wanted, and you wanted to have these opportunities, but yet you compromised for other people. And Spirit is saying here, I feel like compromise, question mark, like how when people say things, they end things on a question mark. like compromise. Like, I feel that energy kind of coming through for you, pile number 2. Spirit saying, go back to what it is that you originally wanted. And if you find that there are others that are not in alignment with that, then it's time to, you know, you don't have to like kick people out on their ass and tell them you never want to see them again, but you know, maybe there's a better use of your time, right? And I feel like some of you have been kind of like separating or slowly backing away from some situations here, but it's good for you. It's aiding in your ascension here. We have Mabon and balance. Okay, so this is the autumn equinox, and you know, it's Libra energy, and again, compromise, all about Libra energy. And balance is a beautiful thing, right? It's a beautiful thing to find balance, but first we have to find ourselves, right? We find ourselves, and then we meet others in relationships, and we continue to find ourselves. Finding ourselves never ends. Then we meet others in relationships, and then we talk about balance, right? But not before we really work on finding ourselves, right? Otherwise, it doesn't feel like a good balance then, right? And Spirit saying, yeah, and maybe your pride has kept you from reaching out to certain people who you feel like you have a grievance with, and you're like, I don't want to reach out to that person. I'm still hurt from that. And your pride's like, I'm not going to do it. You know, I've compromised a lot in the past, and I'm just not going to do it anymore. And so, you know, pride isn't a bad thing, and compassion isn't a bad thing, but how is the energy being balanced between you and others? And where have you had to compromise yourself? Pile number 2, okay? So Spirit may be holding you a little bit separate from others right now so that you can work through some of these things and really focus on what you want. Ace of Pentacles, okay? So let's look at this card 32, Lisa of Parvati, card 32. I feel a sense of empowerment in your pile, though. I do feel that determination and focus. Okay, and so, and different energy. I mean, pile number 1, a little bit different energy than this pile. So you guys are all different here. It says, there's a gentler way to proceed and obtain the same or either greater effect. Tame the wild and frenzy workings of the mind by grounding yourself with beauty, pleasure, and grace. Violence and its negative effects shall be overcome and healed through feminine gentleness and inner spiritual strength. This oracle is a sign of great future happiness. No more compromising yourself, pile number 2. Parvati is the universal mother in her gentle aspect. Although, as with all mothers, her fierce side will emerge if it's needed to protect her children. She is beautiful and benevolent, and evokes the qualities of love, connection, creativity, and devotion to a higher purpose. The divine goddess has many names, and Parvati, mother of the universe, her son is Ganesh, the elephant-headed deity who fosters success in all new ventures. Ace of Pentacles, success in all new ventures. I love that for you, pile number 2. Okay, Ganesh, some of you needing to connect with Ganesh here, who fosters success in all new ventures, protection from obstacles, and is a particular benefit to those who feel drawn to write. For some of you that like writing here, Parvati is mother to all, and her presence in a reading augurs success on every level. With Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth, love, and spiritual enlightenment, and Saraswati, the goddess of wisdom, music, and creativity, Parvati is the Tri-Devi, the secret triunal of the feminine nature, or triple goddess in Hinduism. So you got 3 for the price of 1 here, pile number 2, all right? Parvati is the divine archetype of the vital component in creative, loving women. When her oracle appears, there's an opportunity to heal one's mother wounds and one's relationship with the feminine more generally. She helps heal wounded hearts, right? The compassion fatigue I was talking about, pile number 2. Okay, she helps heal wounded hearts and teaches us how to belong to ourselves just as we are, rather than abandoning ourselves to please others. Too much compromise, like I said, okay? And as a tri-Devi, when you connect with Parvati, you also connect with Lakshmi and Saraswati. All 3 are one. So this oracle brings comfort for matters to do with material prosperity, love relationships, expressing your voice, and fulfilling your higher purpose. Parvati is the consort and wife of wild god Shiva. She loves to meditate and has a fierce temper when distracted. He loves to meditate and has a fierce temper when distracted from his spiritual practice, okay? So this kind of feeling alone or isolated, like having this fierceness around spiritual practice, not wanting to be interrupted, all right? So this oracle brings comfort for matters to do with this. Parvati, okay, so wrathful as Shiva can be, he is a protector deity and destroyer of all evil. Parvati stimulates her husband's passion through skillful practice of yoga. He is roused from meditation by the powerful energy she generates, and he performs his fierce cosmic dance, which can bring an end to that which needs to be annihilated so that new life can emerge. Ace of Pentacles. The vigor of Shiva's dance in our lives can be intense, right? Parvati's dance, Lasaya, provides balance and calming grace when the soul needs gentleness and comfort. Parvati dances her dance of happiness, leading us along the path without requiring us to continually push ourselves beyond our limits, right? Pile number 2, her wisdom protects us from breakdown, guiding us into breakthrough. Her oracle indicates that even though we may go through intense challenges, there is a calming influence which can help us if we are willing and allowing it to be kind to ourselves. When Parvati knows a more dramatic intervention is the only way to conquer a particular evil in our lives, she will manifest as the ferociousness of Goddess Kali, all right? So if someone's draining you or you need to put a boundary, you know, you will manifest as that ferocious goddess as well, pile number 2, or the energy will. One story holds that Kali was so intent on destruction that the fate of the world hung in the balance. Yeah, balance. It hung in the balance here. So her husband Shiva appeared before her as a crying babe, which instantly evoked her maternal instincts and calmed her back into her state as Parvati. Oh, you guys are compassionate and loving, you know, and the crying baby, I feel like you guys are like, aw, you know. And she generally is moved by our suffering and will manifest in whatever forms are needed to heal. Her oracle invokes her trust and trust what transpires is for your healing and spiritual fulfillment. Give up the notion that the deepest issues require the most difficult path to heal. Let her dance of happiness and grace unveil a gentler and more loving way. Okay, so pile number 2. Wow, wow, wow. A more gentler and loving way. Not everything has to be destruction, right? And maybe there's been some destruction energy in your life, or just people that have been overstepping here, pile number 2, okay? So, and you've kind of had to maybe throw down the gauntlet here, but let's see, and become the fierce goddess Kali. Let's see for my beautiful pile number 2s. What can Spirit tell my pile number 2s about this pattern of feeling alone or isolated? We have Page of Cups. So you're being directed back to your creative energy and your focus on what really heals you and what you truly love, okay? You're being directed back to that and what makes sense for you because it's what you love, right? And you have emotion attached to it and it means something to you. Therefore, it's important to you, pile number 2. We have the Hermit. Yeah, you guys, some of you guys here, I mean, this is the first time the Hermit has come up here, but you guys going deeper into your self-discovery, going deeper into what it is that you want, needing this time of reflection to truly get back to something that you truly used to love, but you need to kind of, or not you need to, but you want to and you'd love to do more of now, right? Because it's gentler. It's not like you need to or you have to. It's more like you want to, right? So I feel this energy for you is guiding you back to something that maybe you loved when you were a teenager or in your 20s or when you were a kid, you know, guiding you back to that feeling of what you got when you created or when you tapped into something really magnificent and spiritual. Let's see what else here for my pile number 2s. Why this pattern for pile number 2? We have the Wheel. All right, Spirit gently guiding you into another outcome for yourself, right? And talk about exciting adventure. The Wheel is very adventurous and there is a zest for life. And it's to regain this sense, this zest for life. Like, I am going to do this. I do want to do this. This is something that I'm really excited about. And I can't continue to deny that because I love it and I want to go there. I want to travel there, or I want to try that, or, you know, I mean, needing like, and it's interesting because the Hermit is number 9 and the Wheel is number 10. And it's interesting because I just went through a Hermit year in 2020, and in 2021, I'm in the Wheel year for me personally, right? Because every year you can do a simple calculation to find out what type of tarot year you're having with the major arcana. So, you know, the Wheel definitely, I mean, I moved to an entirely new state. I, you know, uprooted my life. I quit my corporate job. Talk about excitement, right? So that time of introspection and, you know, learning about what it is that you want and what you really want to be doing is going to be very productive for you, pile number 2, in the sense that it's going to take you in a new direction, okay? And that is like breaking out of a cage, right? So let's see what else here. What about this pattern, right? We have the Queen of Cups, the Page of Cups, and the Queen of Cups. We talked about, you know, the Mother. We talked about that beautiful energy of honoring what you purely love and what, no matter what makes your emotions run high, what makes you excited, because I don't feel like you guys are not sacrificing what you want anymore. Okay. Spirit coming and saying, like, you're going to give everything you have to this new change in your life, but it's for you. It's not for other people. This is for you. This is an offering, or an offering of love to yourself, saying, you know, I love you this much that I'm willing to go kind of dark or quiet for a while to understand what it is that I love and truly need. And then after that, I'm going to burst forth with a zest for life, you know, and an idea or a view towards conquering new things in my life, right? And finding the courage and the passion to kind of do that, okay? And with the Wheel and the Queen of Cups, it's kind of like emotions running wild, right? So needing that protection, needing those boundaries and protection. Hey, sometimes we need boundaries and protections within our own selves. You know, it's not always other people, right? Pile number 2. And I had a conversation about that the other day, that sometimes the boundaries that we need to establish, because our emotions have been running wild and free, when we really need to get focused and determined, like the Hermit, so we can understand our next move, right? Setting even those internal boundaries within ourselves. And that takes a lot of energy, pile number 2, okay? That takes a lot of energy. So be proud of how far you've come here. And, you know, and I feel like this period of compromising what you want is coming to an end here, because you're really taking what you want seriously, okay, pile number 2? So I hope that provided some clarity on that question for you, and that you got something out of your reading, pile number 2, and I hope it did feel comforting to you from Spirit as well. So leave me a comment if you feel so inclined, pile number 2, and I hope to see you again real soon. Take care. All right, let's go ahead and move on to pile number 3. Pile number 3. Let's do it. Okay. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the purple tea light, and today's reading is a subscriber request reading called Feeling Alone or Feeling Isolated, and talking about comfort from Spirit, okay? And someone had left me a comment about, you know, feeling bummed out because they felt like they were kind of alone on birthdays or holidays a lot. And more than that, I think our society is just trending like to people feeling more lonely or alone these days. And even if you have other people around you, you can still feel that way, okay? So pile number 3, we're gonna go ahead and get some comfort and advice from Spirit regarding this. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the beautiful energy of my wonderful pile number 3. Spirit, thank you so much. Spirit just showed me like a beautiful balloon kind of floating up in the sky, or kind of like releasing something. Okay, pile number 3. So let's go ahead and see what the cards say. We have the Cupo Dissolve O. Wow, Cupo Dissolve O. This is card number 2 from the White Light Oracle. And I'm going to go ahead and read this card when we get to the end of your oracle, but talking about the energy of something kind of dissolving or dissipating, like I saw that balloon kind of being released up to the sky, okay? And we have the King of Cups. All right, so maybe there's somebody in your life that you've had to let go of, or you've had to let go of expectations around a situation. And it could be with the water sign here because we have the King of Cups. But, you know, maybe some of you felt falling for someone and, you know, realizing like I have to surrender to spirit here, even though I want this badly, you know, and for now I've got to kind of like let this go and let it be what it is, right? And that can make you feel when you have to let someone go, or not just totally let someone go, but when you have to just kind of like dissipate some energy around you and another person, that can feel, you can feel very alone without that person. You know, if you're used to talking to someone every day or texting with them every day or having deep conversations and then all of a sudden it stops, right? That can make someone feel very alone and isolated, okay? We have new moon in Gemini. Communication is key. So, you know, I feel like you guys, you know, you really like having people or a person or a person in your life where you can share and talk to one another, and almost kind of a psychic connection here with the twins, you know? It's like having this psychic connection where I know what you're thinking, you know what I'm thinking, and just making you feel less alone in the world, right? Making you feel like loved and that you belong. And there's nothing wrong with that, pile number 3, but you know, maybe you have felt like the communication between you and this person hasn't been the same recently, okay? And that can make someone feel alone. We have building your world, creation, expansion, and networking. So Spirit is calling on you to build your world right now. And sometimes our worlds get kind of small, right? Because we're kind of like depending on one person to help us feel less alone or isolated. And people that have spouses can even feel this way too. You know, especially men, I feel like a lot of men, you know, women can make friends a little bit easier. Men may have a more difficult time with it, especially later in life. And, you know, their partner sometimes becomes like their only like social connection, right? So I feel like Spirit is saying here, if this has been happening to you, if you're a man watching this, or this has been happening to you with your significant other, or you have just feel like you've been cut off from someone and the communication has been off or just hasn't been what it was before, and it's making you feel alone or isolated. Spirit is talking about, you know, people building their networks. And I mean, we need that. We need a sense of safety in our network, right? It's like, if there's only one person, then if that person goes away or the communication line goes down, it can feel like, you know, and sometimes you have other people around you that care about you and would love to talk to you and see you and be with you. But it's like that one person that you really want to talk to, okay? And it's 7:11 on my clock right now, pile number 3. So yeah, interesting. I love 7-Eleven. I love that number. I feel like it's like a super lucky number. So talking about building your world up, pile number 3, which is always a good thing. We have rainbow and transition. So maybe some of you have gone through a loss of a pet, of, you know, of a parent, of a grandparent, or of a relationship, you know, and we talk about the rainbow bridge with pets, all right? And I mean, I don't know what I actually looked at my dog when I started your reading. Right now, she's sleeping right across from me and her little eyes are closed, and it's been a very cozy day for us. And, you know, sometimes having that pet or that beautiful animals around you can make you feel less alone, you know? That can really add to your life. We have Amazonite and Harmony, right? I love this blue on the King of Cups. It's this royal blue. It's so pretty. It says the blue-green color of Amazonite combines the throat chakra with the heart chakra, all right? Prompting you to communicate from the heart and speak in a loving way. Amazonite brings balance and harmony and the ability to see both sides of an issue. It keeps strife at bay by helping you to focus on kindness rather than proving your point. I am calm, and I am a calm and harmonious person. I speak words that are kind, supportive, and loving. Yeah, and I feel like some of you guys may be feeling kind of alone or isolated because maybe you had a difficult conversation with someone or a challenging conversation, and it feels like this person is distant from you, you know, or multiple people, not even just one person. It could be multiple people. And Spirit here talking about harmony, okay, in the throat chakra and also the heart, you know, meaning what we say and saying what we mean. So important, right? Card 18, you are both open-minded and open-hearted, and your ambition is to leave this world better than you found it. Ensure that your goals are aligned with the collective need, with the highest good for all. I am kind-hearted, okay? And this is so interesting because this is the only card I feel like in this deck where they say you are both open-minded and open-hearted. In this entire numerology deck, angel number deck, it only talks about the specific person. But here it's saying, you know, and some of you may feel like, oh, this is my twin soul, or that not even a twin soul, but maybe even a soul. This is a soulmate, or this is someone, a friend or a family member that's like a soulmate to me, or a romantic partner, right? And maybe some of you guys have been feeling empty since maybe communication hasn't been harmonious, or there's been some type of ending here. But Spirit's saying you are both open-minded and open-hearted, and your ambition is to leave this world better than you found it. Ensure that your goals are aligned with the collective need and with the highest good of all. I am kind-hearted, all right? And actually, kind-hearted was mentioned here. I speak words that are kind, supportive, and loving, all right? Maybe somebody said some words to you, pile number 3, that weren't very kind, supportive, and loving, and it made you feel alone, okay? That can happen. We have the Shekinah, the sacred self. Unleash your spirit, express your gifts, dance to the sacred rhythm of life. Don't hold yourself back, pile number 3. As important as it is to have a person in our life that we can see eye to eye with and we feel on the same page with and we're in harmony with, like Spirit is saying, you know, build your own world too, right? Build your own creative expression and expansion. And it's time for you at some point here to go networking and meet others and unleash your gifts on the world, okay? So that's beautiful. We have peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. Okay, so harmony in your world is very important, and it is to this person too, right? So if it felt like you two were out of harmony, both of you could be feeling alone, you know? And I feel like if this is about a relationship, pile number 3, I feel like this relationship, there is hope here. There is this transition, but it's a good transition in a sense when you, not in a sense, but it is when you reach the destination and finally feels good, okay? And Spirit saying, you know, reminding you that you're a being of love and a being of peace, okay? Oh, I love this. This says, ask for help from others. So when you're feeling alone, and here they are, here's 2 friends or 2 lovers, and you know, when you're feeling alone or you're feeling lost or you're feeling like a person isn't gonna understand you, or they're not gonna be open to you, or they won't listen, or they'll reject you, right? Spirit is saying it's good for you to ask for help. It's good for you to ask a friend, hey, like I do need to talk, or it would be great to talk, right? Or tell this person, like, I'd like to have an open and honest conversation because I love you. You know, these kinds of things, right? Pile number 3 will help things feel better. We have hex and banishment. So maybe some of you guys feeling like doomed in a way, or feeling like like your relationships are doomed, or things are doomed to go the wrong way, or that things are your fault if they, and also this sense of pointing fingers at one another. Okay, so there could be like, you know, and we talked about this whole thing of, you know, bringing balance and harmony to see both sides of an issue, keep strife at bay by helping you to focus on kindness rather than proving your point. And this finger is kind of like trying to prove its point, but in the background, I see what looks like, you know, two twin embryos here. We could have Gemini energy and Pisces energy here, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio with the King of Cups. But Spirit just saying here, you know, you're not doomed to repeat the same mistakes, pile number 3. And if you are in some type of argument with someone, but usually you see eye to eye with this person, Spirit's saying, you know, this energy is going to go away, and it's going to go away because you're both going to, you know, use kindness and love to keep strife at bay and to promote communicating from the heart and thinking before speaking. Okay, so yeah, no pointing fingers, right? Pile number 3. So let me read this Cupo Dissolvi here, card number 2 from the deck. Let me read a little bit of this to you, and hopefully it will resonate with you. Okay, it is time to let go. Remember, I saw the balloon at the beginning of the reading kind of being released. Things are working out in their own way. Trust that your heart is wise in leading you on a soul healing journey and the right spiritual path. Spirit wants to bring you a blessing and a resolution, but you must let go and allow it to happen. Events are unfolding according to a higher plan. Even if your plans are going a little bit crazy, know that it will come together at the right time and in the best way as possible. Surrender your struggle and hold on to your faith. You do not need to be in control in order to be safe and have things work out in the best way possible. In an often spiritually deficient modern culture, we have developed a kind of mystical amnesia. We have forgotten the genuine, effective, and astonishing power of spiritual intervention that can be evoked by an open heart, right? It says you are both open-minded and open-hearted. So that's 2 mentions of open-hearted. This oracle brings you a message from Spirit. If there is a problem in your life that seems very real, there is a problem in your life that seems very real and substantial. Yet if you approach it from a more mystical perspective, desiring spiritual connection and healing, that issue can dissolve. It can be absorbed into spiritual light and healed. It can transform in such a way that your current viewpoint of suffering, right, that you're hexed or that something's wrong with you, your current viewpoint of suffering will cease to exist. There is a path for healing you have yet to recognize. As you let go of what you think you must be, you will recognize perhaps an unexpected path to your true healing and inner fulfillment opening up before you. The Latin phrase cupo dissolvi refers to a desire to dissolve, to be absorbed in the luminosity of the soul, where there is beauty, relief, and peace. Peace. You guys have it at the center of your reading. Peace. Okay. Peace, peace, peace. 100 times over. And yeah. Let's see. Where was I at? Yeah. Okay. In letting go, we give Spirit permission to heal the state of the heart and mind that has led us to these difficulties. It can be surprising just how much we hold on to things we wish we could be freed from. Wow. Should we get that tattooed on our forehead, pile number 3? It can be surprising how much we hold on to things we wish to be freed from. It might help you if you reflect on what would be different for you if this problem was no longer in your life. Sometimes we might hold on to pain, hoping to gain acknowledgement from a certain person who may just lack the emotional capacity and spiritual development to grant us a heartfelt apology. Sometimes we punish ourselves by holding on to the pain, holding impossible and unhelpful standards of inhuman perfection where we could forgive ourselves and move on. Spiritually, we have the power to forgive and free ourselves and others. There is so much to be gained in doing so. It is a way to heal the heart from emotional poison, awaken inner peace and freedom, and move forward with our lives. As we forgive and enter the temple of the heart, we can see beautiful visions of what is now possible. Feelings of euphoria may awaken. We realize we have set ourselves free from the past. A constraint that once weighed heavily on our hearts has been cast off by spiritual will. Knowing we have such a beautiful power within can bring gratitude and wonder into our hearts. In the spiritual landscape of the heart, we let go of what we think and engage. We let go of what we think and engage with what we feel. The true mystical experience of divine love is not just emotional. It is transfiguring or transformation or transition, okay? It helps us transforms our lives, ourselves and our lives. This oracle guides you to immerse yourself in spiritual light within your heart. A beautiful, uplifting outcome is being offered to you. Trust in spirit, let go, and receive. Wow, pile number 3. Okay, a great message of hope for you there. A great moment and a great message of hope for you that hopefully makes you feel a lot more at ease. I know it's scary to let go. I know it's super scary to let go of control. I have sometimes major problems with it myself, you know. We can ask others for help. Ask them to, like it says here, ask for help. Ask others if they can tell us, like, how did you do that? Or what do you, right? It's helpful to get hear other opinions and receive help, okay? Especially if it's good, you know? I mean, especially if it's supportive is what I mean, right? We don't want to judge it as good or bad, but just supportive. Let's see for my beautiful pile number 3s. I mean, we can judge things as good or bad. That's important to do, right, in life. But you guys know what I mean, like supportive energy for you, pile number 3, okay? So Spirit, what can you tell me for pile number 3 here about this sense of feeling alone or isolated? What can you tell us about this? We have the Knight of Cups. So yeah, again, the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups. Here's a Scorpio, here's a Pisces, here's some water sign energy, pile number 3 for sure. And some of you guys could be waiting for an apology for someone or waiting to hear from someone, and you just feel like they're drifting out of your life, or you feel like they're dissolving from your experience, and that can be very, very jarring. But I feel like, you know, I feel like this cup is so big and it's so bright and it's so open and it's so like full, you know, and it shines so brightly, pile number 3. Let's see what else here. We have the 8 of Swords. So definitely wondering about, you know, how this person or how a person or maybe persons from your past, if this has to do with the past, pile number 3, like wondering how this situation could be different, or thinking that you're the one that if you make certain moves, you can kind of fix everything, right? The 8 of Swords is like, I don't know what to do, but I feel like I should fix something here. And I'm kind of getting this energy from this eagle here, this eagle on the card that's like, I'm going to put this sword here and I'm going to fix things, right? And, but not knowing how to fix things and feeling like all the responsibility is on you, pile number 3, to fix things. You know, like it's an impossible puzzle, right? And Spirit's saying, no, just let go. We're just going to let go here. We're going to dissolve, let go of control, and just let whatever comes to us, not worry about it. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles. Also, Spirit's saying here, you know, don't get it twisted, pile number 3. You are a whole and complete being unto yourself. All right. And it is a time for you right now to build your world with the Queen of Pentacles in a very tangible way that feels supportive and loving to you. What is the Queen of Pentacles holding in this picture? Oh, it's a baby deer. That's so sweet. It's a baby deer. I thought it was an actual baby for a second. But she's holding a baby deer in her arms. And she's like, I got this. I got this. I know who I am. I know what I'm here to do. I'm solid. I'm growing within myself, okay? I'm not confused anymore. I know who I am and what I want here, okay? So Spirit is saying, you know, just relaxing a little bit. I feel pile number 3, if some of you guys have. And I also feel this energy of building your world up, like in the place that you're at, right? You may not be in that place forever. You may not want to be in the place that you are forever, but you know, you're here now. So you might as well kind of build up your world and network and, you know, build that network up and enjoy your life, okay? And we have the Queen of Swords. So I feel like, oh, and there's the King of Pentacles on the bottom of deck. So you guys have a lot of court cards in your reading, probably more than any of the other piles. So, I mean, I feel like there's people coming in here, all right? There's there's friends. I see love. I see a period of uncertainty, or maybe trying to force things and not being sure what to do is coming to an end. And I see people coming into your life is what I see here too. We have the King of Cups, the Knight of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the King of Pentacles is on the bottom of the deck. And there's the Ace of Swords. Okay, so I mean, there's a lot, there's a lot of, you know, I feel a lot more, and the other piles too, of course, you know, in different ways, you know, I feel so much more like, I feel there's going to be a lot more people in your life, and I feel you're going to have the opportunity to like network and get to know more people and make new friends. And with the Queen of Pentacles, we could have a Capricorn and a Libra here. So you could be meeting someone with those energies. We also have a Scorpio and a Pisces here. So, and the King of Pentacles would be a Virgo, but I oftentimes think of him as a Taurus. But, you know, traditionally in tarot, the King of Pentacles is a Virgo. So, you know, you could be, I feel you're definitely going to be mixing and mingling with new energies. And if you've been trying to force like awkward connections that didn't really feel right, but you kind of didn't want to feel alone or isolated, I feel like Spirit is saying, you know, like, we got your back, you know, we're bringing really solid connections in for you here. And, you know, there could be a very like positive, interesting, and fantastic friend who's a great listener that really is, you know, open and, you know, that you can really talk to. Okay. So I feel like that is also coming through. And maybe in the past you didn't feel that way. You didn't feel like you had that great friend that you could really talk to, or that they were too busy for you, or they didn't care to hear from you. Okay. And I feel like your confidence in your self-worth is really coming back. And, you know, you are in a phase now where you're getting ready to come out of this sense of feeling alone or isolated. And I see you becoming a lot more committed to building the network around you, pile number 3, which is a good sign for you. It is a really good sign for you. And we are honoring that sacred self and, you know, being at peace with the transition and changes, letting go, and building something new. And more importantly, right? I mean, we can let go of everything, right? But, you know, I mean, I oftentimes prayed for Spirit to release me from things in my life that, you know, weren't good for me or didn't belong to me. But I would oftentimes totally forget to add that Spirit replace those things in my life or situations with things that were better suited to my energy and my nature. Okay. So don't forget to ask for what you want, pile number 3. And if you've been asking Spirit to help you let go or clear your energy, you know, don't forget to ask for, you know, ask help from others, ask help from your guides, ask help from your angels, right? From other people as well. And say, you know, if something has been taken from you because it needed to be that way or whatever it happened, you know, we can't always know why things happen. But if that's the case, you can say, you know, please replace this energy in my life with something really, you know, beautiful and heartfelt. Because I want to share my love with others, and I want others to share their love with me. Okay. So thank you so much, pile number 3. Beautiful energy to read for you guys. And I hope that this was uplifting, because I do see supportive new, you know, maybe not everyone new here either. Okay. I don't feel like this Knight of Cups is really new. I feel like this Queen of Swords is new though. I feel like this could be like a new friend or something in your life. Okay. So yeah, and I feel like the King of Pentacles, you know, financial help or financial support, or somebody just really supporting you in a really positive, you know, very like, I'm here for you, I got your back kind of a way. That's a surprise, because that's on the bottom of the deck. You didn't see that one coming. Okay. So yeah, pile number 3. I hope that feels good to you, and I hope that you gained something from the reading. Namaste, pile number 3. And do leave me a comment, like, share, subscribe, and I love your beautiful comments. Take care, everyone.